Empire-Tribune Stephenville. I am multimedia editor Erin Cooper here with an Empire-Tribune special report. Marion Cole has been collecting Madame Alexander dolls for more than 50 years, and in just days she will share part of her collection with Erath County residents when they go on display at the Cross Timber Fine Arts Council Gallery on River North Boulevard from July 19th to August 20th. But before the dolls go on display, Marion shares with the Empire-Tribune a little history about the American-made classics and her own personal story of how she became a collector.
Madame Alexander founded it on the dream of creating beautifully handcrafted play dolls for little girls who believed that dolls were outstanding members of the world. Her parents were Russian immigrants. Her dad owned a doll hospital, and that became her love of dolls, because she would see people bringing in their little dolls that needed to be repaired, and she just felt like this was her calling. And she gave herself the name Madam when she started making dolls herself. She and her sisters made dolls together, and they made cloth dolls to sell at the hospital. And it became such a huge success that she just continued designing and making dolls. And through the years, she's won all kinds of awards for outstanding design. She's produced dolls that reflect, well, like the Gone with the Wind series. She actually, for the Gone with the Wind dolls, she contracted with the people, the copyright from the book of Gone with the Wind, and Margaret Mitchell, the author, to exclusively produce Gone with the Wind dolls. So she's very innovative in her thinking and the way she portrayed the dolls, and she always kept everything very up to date as far as the production of the dolls went. Dion quintuplets were born, I think, back in the 30s or 40s. This was a big deal for 5 babies to be born at the same time, and she contacted the parents and asked for the rights to produce dolls, the Dion Quintet dolls, and they were a huge hit. She had a Shirley Temple doll, and she really just kept up with the times of whatever was happening in the world. She was right on top of it to produce dolls for that event. Madame Alexander passed away a few years ago. Unfortunately, I never got a chance to meet her. I would have loved to, but it was just one of those things where I never got a chance to do that. Alexander dolls are the only ones still produced in the United States. Up until just about 5 years ago, they were totally made in the United States, but then they started shipping the order for the bodies over to China, and the bodies of the dolls are made in China, but then they're shipped back over here. All the hair, all the clothes, the painting on the faces, the painting on the fingernails, all the detail work is done here in the United States. And that's one of the Madame Alexander Doll Company's themes, is love is in the details. And when you see these dolls and how beautifully they are handcrafted, you understand that there has been a lot of love going into making these dolls. The very first Madame Alexander came out in 1953 with the Alexanderkins. Up until then, she'd made soft dolls, cloth dolls, what have you. And when I was 6 years old, my daddy bought me my first Madame Alexander doll. And this is her right here. And back when he bought this for me in 1953, he paid $2.50 for this little doll. And that was a lot of money back then. Now they range anywhere from $75 on up to several hundred. But this is the Madame Alexander. He gave me a new doll every year at Christmas until he passed away in 1988. Also, when my daughter was born, Carol, he started giving her a doll every Christmas too, so he was doubling up on the dolls. And after he passed away, my husband Cleve kept up the tradition, but he not only gave me a doll at Christmas, he would give me dolls all throughout the year. So sometimes I would come home from somewhere and walk in the house and open up a kitchen cabinet and door, and there would be a new doll, just as a surprise. So that was always fun for him to do. And And unfortunately, he did pass away. But my daughter has taken up the tradition again, so she's giving me dolls at Christmas now. So,
Cool.
and I have now probably around 350 dolls in my collection. Well, it's just like, it's like having children. You don't have a favorite child. It's really hard to decide which one is your favorite. They are all unique and different, and that was kind of the way Madame Alexander felt about the dolls too. It's just like having children. You can't decide which one is your favorite. However, I do have one. I think that one that my dad gave me was one of his favorites, and I guess I could consider that. She is called Southern Belle. And if you will just notice, she's old. She's a very old doll. She's probably back in, I'm going to say around 1960, something like that. But just look at her hair and her earrings and the back of her dress, the little bustle. And they're all, everything is just so detailed on these dolls. Anything, all their shoes are made to match. And they have little petticoats that have embroidery on them, and they have the little shoes, they have pantaloons, all the details. It's just, they're just absolutely exquisite. This is a doll. This is Madame Alexander. This is the doll that they recreated for Madame Alexander. This is Polly Put the Kettle On. These are like nursery rhymes. Here's Itsy Bitsy Spider. This is Itsy Bitsy Foreign Countries. This is called the International Series. And these have Russia, almost every country imaginable. This is probably one of my favorites just because this is this little Scotland. She has the bagpipes. Look at the detail. I mean, she's... the way she's dressed is just right to scale, right to how the pipers dress. And look at this hair. It just is amazing to me that they can work in such a small, on such a small scale. And again, the dress and the hair, all the long curls. An idea that was given to me by a friend of mine who is a doll collector, and she was talking about that she had exhibited some of her dolls, and the idea just came to my mind that maybe that would be something fun we could do down at the Cross Timbers Fine Arts Council in the gallery, is exhibit my dolls. And I called our executive director, and she thought it was a great idea. So that's just kind of how it all evolved. I've been a member of the Cross Timbers Fine Arts Council since 1981, so it came easy for me to volunteer to do this, and I'm really excited about it because first of all, it'll give me a chance to clean out my doll cabinets, but it will also give some people that maybe have never seen the Madame Alexander dolls or know anything about them an opportunity to come down and view them and look at them and get them out in the. We're going to have, it's a Fancy Nancy luncheon and style show. Madame Alexander came out with the Fancy Nancy doll this year. In fact, I just had to buy her for my collection, and but the luncheon and style show will feature local children modeling clothes for kids only, and then I will be giving a little brief history of Madame Alexander and the dolls. The doll exhibit itself opens on July the 19th and will run through August the 20th. Along with the exhibit will be pictures showing how the dolls, the art of making dolls and how these dolls are made. There will be a display of photographs showing that. And then there will also be a reception on July the 22nd from 5 to 7, I believe, is the time, at the gallery at the Cross Timbers Fine Arts Council for the public to come in and view the dolls, and then I'll give a little talk about it. This is the Fancy Nancy doll. One of, I think there's 3 or 4 styles. This is the one with the tea at the tea party. And notice her hair. Look at this hair. And this is all hand done. They have beauticians there at the Alexander Doll Company to do the hair. They have seamstresses to sew all these lovely, beautiful dresses. It's just, the detail on these are just incredible.